Hi everyone, it's Olivia and welcome to this channel where we talk about Rizo, zines, art, fairs and conventions, and all sorts of cool stuff. Now this video is actually a continuation of the previous video, Zine Planning 2020 series ideas video, where I mentioned that I was going to break out the alphabet book / zine project into its own separate video. And the reason I wanted to do that is because this is the larger scale, longer term project that I wanted to work on this year. And I wanted to do a more in-depth introduction to this project in case you also want to do your own alphabet book / zine project this year or in the future. Alright, so why do an alphabet book? Why work on a project like this? Well, an alphabet book gives you a ready-made structure for an entire book that is relatively easy to follow. Everybody sort of already understands how an alphabet book goes. So usually you're counting off something except you have a clear beginning, which is usually A, and you have a clear ending, which is usually Z. So for the creative, it gives you this ready-made format that takes away some of the decision-making process in terms of what direction to take, and therefore it's quite an approachable project overall. So another great reason to use the alphabet book format in a zine is because it gives us a lot of flexibility and opportunity to adapt it to whatever we like, to whatever subject matter interests us. So you can make it quite educational and informational, but you can also make it very personal. And although alphabet books are traditionally used as a way of introducing children to a language system, it doesn't have to be restricted to any particular genre, as some of these examples that I'm about to show you indicate. So I actually raided the local public library to look up different kinds of alphabet books, and there were easily over 100 different titles. So most of them are for kids, but when you're working on your alphabet book project, you don't have to make yours for children, obviously. So yeah, I'm gonna flip through a few of them so that we can begin to see the variety that is available out there, and maybe it will inspire you as to the different possibilities. So yeah, without further ado, let's take a look. So the first category is languages and local category. These are alphabet books that are based on a language or country or culture. By the way, I just want to put out there that my categorization system is very arbitrary and a book can fall into more than one category. I organized them in this manner so that it would be easier for me to narrow down which books I want to feature. Also, I just want to mention that I am showing these books as examples for educational and informational purposes only. I am not endorsing or promoting any of these books, and I am definitely not saying that you should go out and buy any of these books. The first book is Jumbo Means Hello, a Swahili alphabet book by Muriel Feelings and Tom Feelings. It is a 1975 Caldecott Honor Book, which is a very prestigious American Children's Book Award. The book introduces you to Swahili. The pictures were illustrated using a painstaking process that involves water-soluble ink, tempera, and linseed oil. To capture the illustrations for the book, a special double dot process was used to photograph the originals. Next is The Path of the Quiet Elk, a Native American alphabet book by Virginia Stroud, who is Cherokee Creek by birth. After being orphaned at a young age, the author-illustrator went to live with her sister, the superintendent of an indigenous children's home in Oklahoma. She was later adopted into a Kiowa family. The book follows the characters called Wisdom Keeper and Looks Within through the path of the quiet elk, and as we join them in their journey, we learn more about her culture. Last in this category is my first book of Tagalog words by Liana Romulo and illustrated by Jaime Laurel. It introduces you to some Tagalog words, including some more colloquial words like ewan and nako. The second category is what I would term subject-oriented. So under this category, we have alphabet books that talk about a special interest, although they're still a reflection of local culture, so we can see there's some crossover with other categories. For example, there's one called ABC Crochet, an alphabet collection of amigurumi animals by Mitsuki Hoshi, and it teaches you how to crochet different cute amigurumi characters, which is a style that looks like chibi, where they have big heads and little bodies. The English alphabet for each animal is also accompanied by the Japanese character for the Japanese name for each animal. Next is Hip Hop Alphabet by Howie Abrams and Michael Caves McLear. The style of illustration has some graffiti elements to it, and each letter is a hip-hop musician or group with rhymes that describe them. L is for LL Cool J, Queen's finest, no doubt. He can't live without his radio. His mama said knock you out. Next is B is for Baller by James Littlejohn and illustrated by Matthew Shipley. It was printed just in 2018, so LeBron and Kobe made it in the book, along with other greats from basketball history. Next is Steampunk Alphabet by Nathaniel Iwata. The book started off as a Kickstarter. I actually love the steampunk aesthetic so much, and this book is so creative because each object is augmented with a steampunk mechanical element, and then there's also a world-building element to it. For example, A is for Apple, but it's also apparently a music box that was made to revere the capital's founding of 200 years. I'd like to learn more about this capital. And last in this category is the Flower Fairy Alphabet by the famous fairy illustrator Cicely Mary Barker, who also wrote poems for each letter of the alphabet. The book is so tiny and so cute, and I'm so surprised that this didn't get lost in the library stacks, to be honest. The third category is also subject-oriented, but I set them aside into a different pile called Interesting Aesthetics. The designs of the books and the illustrations in the books in this category are really unique, and there are a lot of them, so I'm just going to montage them and write down the information of those books and some keywords for the aesthetic. One thing you'll start to notice from this category is that there are a lot of animal alphabet books, and all of them are so different and unique. And it sort of proves that there really is no limit to how many different ways you can make an animal alphabet book. The last category is what I would call traditional illustration books. It looks like there is a king of alphabet books in this category, Jerry Pallotta. This author has done so many alphabet books on various different topics, ranging from construction machines to sea mammals to spices to airplanes and jets, that I feel like I should mention him first. So in this category are alphabet books that have a more traditional feel to their illustrations in them. I'm showing Jerry Pallotta's construction alphabet book because a friend of mine told me this joke about Canada having two seasons, winter season and construction season, which is literally summer when everything seems to be under construction. Another book I put in this category is Alpha Beasts by Wallace Edwards, which won the Governor General's Literary Awards, which is a Canadian literary award. It's animals hanging out in a mansion. I don't think it needs any further explanation. I'll end here with Animalia by Graham Bass. This book takes the cake in terms of being over the top. It is super densely illustrated, and even the letter descriptions are alliterations that are 6 and up words long, and you can even find more elements in each illustration that begin with the same letter as the indicated featured letter, so there's tons more Easter eggs in there than the main subject. Alright, so I hope that was helpful for you, especially if an alphabet book zine project is something that you might be interested in working on in the future. I'm going to be doing mine as an Inktober project, but I'm going to cheat a little bit and I'm going to be working on it throughout the year and then releasing each character as its own individual video for each day of October. And the reason for that is because I'm just really slow and I don't think I can do this all in the month of October. But one thing I do want to tease is that I'm not going to be using the English alphabet for my alphabet book. So yeah, if you want to find out what that's going to be about, please consider subscribing. Alright, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like and or comment down below, and I will see you in the next video.